Is the government hiding this from us? Because if I zoom in into this isolated region in Canada, why is there NASA equipment talking about Mars? There's a NASA logo, another NASA logo. What is going on? This is Devon Island. And as much as some people want you to believe that the government doesn't want you to know about this, it is actually pretty prominent on NASA's website. Devon Island is the largest uninhabited island on Earth, mostly because it's dry, it's isolated, it's freezing, and it's hard to live on. Like Mars. It also has this giant 23-kilometer impact crater that formed over 30 million years ago, which reminds me of Mars. This is the only terrestrial impact crater on Earth that's located in a polar desert. It's perfect. Here's Devon Island, here's Mars. Scientists use this part of the island to train people and technology for Mars. It's called the Houghton Mars Project. It's incredibly cool. It's also incredibly public and easy to find information on. But the next time you see people changing the colors of images and vaguely claiming they're both from NASA, think twice.
TikTok, we have some huge news. It's happening again. If you remember the videos I posted in the past, you'll know what these shipping containers are. These shipping containers keep getting dropped off in my community. This one is number 48, and I'm sure there's a lot more coming. Literally about every week now, they drop off a new one of these containers and military vehicles get pulled out of it. We're talking Humvees, we're talking military helicopters, we're talking ammunition, and they just keep carting it around to a facility down the road. We need to get some answers about this, because every time I try to interview someone or get somebody on camera, they say to bug off or else I'm going to be arrested. Arrested for being in my own community. So if you see this symbol anywhere, let me know.
I mean, these crates look like those from the Hunger Games.
Ryan Garcia is doubling down, posted this: when an earthquake happens tomorrow in LA and Vegas, I don't want to hear anyone speak. The Lord Jesus Christ is the King of Kings. Here's what I find crazy. In the last 24 hours, there has been 911 9/11 earthquakes, magnitudes up to 5.6. And on Tuesday, there was 1,300 earthquakes that day. And the reason why that is alarming is because the daily average is around 55 earthquakes per day, or 20,000 per year. But you're telling me in the last 2 days, we've had around 2,000 earthquakes around the world. And the day before, June 6, 666, the day that Ryan Garcia has predicted a earthquake in LA and Vegas, he is doubling down on it. So that is crazy to me. We'll see what happens tomorrow, but we have 9/11 symbolism here. Look, I'm not telling you there's going to be an earthquake tomorrow. Ryan Garcia is. And I'm not telling you that I agree with him or that I believe him, but this right here is alarming.
If you're convinced that there's a nationwide conspiracy to raise rent prices, don't worry, so does the FBI. Now, rents have climbed more than 30% over the last 4 years, and it might not be due to just simple supply and demand. The FBI recently raided a big corporate landlord in Atlanta as part of a Justice Department investigation into a probe that corporate landlords are allegedly using a software called RealPage to collude and hike rents. Now, RealPage allegedly lets landlords share detailed info like rent prices, occupancy rates, helping them set higher prices than they would perhaps normally on their own. And RealPage pressures landlords into following their pricing models. They brag that landlords using their software outpace the market, aka squeezing more money from tenants than most landlords would. And the issue is widespread. The software dominates markets in Baltimore, Charlotte, Houston, and Miami. And Atlanta rents are up more than 56% since 2016, partly due to this software. Now, of course, RealPage has denied these allegations, but some landlords have already settled lawsuits. Maybe check with your landlord to see what they're using for their pricing. They might want to know the FBI is watching.
Your favorite conspiracy theory?
Black swan event. Something that nobody sees coming. Well, June 9th, that contract expires. It comes to an end.
And that contract is the agreement between Saudi Arabia and the USA to use the US dollar for oil payment. Now, I looked online and I could not find exactly what contract this was that was expiring, but this guy is saying it expires June 9th. This is where the conspiracy theory comes in, because this is a theory, this is opinion, this is speculation, this is for entertainment purposes, because I could not confirm this contract ending June 9th. What I do find odd is the timing, how today for the New York Stock Exchange, there was a technical issue after some stocks incorrectly showed drops up to 99%. Was this a test? Possible trial run? I don't know. Just a weird coincidence. And on top of that, we had Mexico's stock market today, June 3rd, fall by 5.7%. It is the worst performance since the global financial crisis in 2008. And if that's not enough, we have over 250 earthquakes on Hawaii's Big Island. Not to mention how yesterday we had a 6.0 earthquake hit Japan. I wonder if Ryan Garcia knew something that we don't know, having this prediction about a bad earthquake that will hit Los Angeles and Las Vegas June 6th.
Have you heard this scary conspiracy theory about Billie Eilish that says she will die an early, shocking death all because of her eyes?
The fact that I'm gonna die one day and no one will remember me makes me feel so good.
As you can see, Billie Eilish has a lot of white showing underneath the iris of her eyes. Anyone with these type of eyes called yin senpaku eyes are cursed according to Japanese superstition. They say the eyes are the windows to the soul and predict the soul's fate. And in the theory, anyone with these eyes met a tragic end. They're pretty rare, as you can see, I don't have them. Japanese authors were able to predict John F. Kennedy's assassination death and Marilyn Monroe's suspicious overdose death just because of their eye. According to the theory, anyone with these type of eyes are in danger from the outside world. People are out to get them. Other examples including the great Michael Jackson, who was killed by his doctor, and more recently, Mac Miller, who was sold something counterfeit. People with the opposite eyes, whites showing above the iris, people with opposite eyes with white showing above the iris are said to be a danger to everyone else, like Charles Manson. Before I show you the most very recent example of this, make sure you follow so you finally know the craziest conspiracy theories about each of these celebrities and requests do you want to see next. The most recent example that people within this theory have noticed is Juice WRLD. I'm just spilling the tea, I know Billie will be okay.
So you're telling me my fate lies in my eyes? That's creepy.
Tell me an interesting fact.
Do you know why a gas light comes on in a car?
Okay. Sure, go ahead. Tell me.
It's because it's a lie. Because if your car is giving you a gas light and it's telling you, hey, we're about to run out of gas, and you still driving and you hit 0 miles, that bitch ain't gonna stop on you. So it's really just a form of manipulation. That's a fun fact.
Wait, what?
True.
Tell me you're
It's
joking.
true.
Right?
No, it's dead ass because it's happened to me before. All right, my shit.
Yo. Ain't no way, fam. This is a joke, right?
No, this is very serious. It's a lie.
The Denver International Airport has to be one of the most mysterious and well-known locations that involves a ton of conspiracies, and it's almost like the creators are rubbing it in our faces. This guy went there a few days ago to catch a flight. He was looking for his flight terminal, but he ended up in an area that seemed more like the back rooms. There was nobody back there. Things seemed more like props. I tagged his account down below in case you want to watch his videos. After walking around for some time, he ends up finding another flight terminal, but it was more of like a dead end. Like there was nothing back there. Keep in mind that outside of this airport is the statue who is known as Blucifer. People think that he is a node to the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse, and he even has a pretty sacrificial sounding past. Lucifer was being built by this man named Luis. When Luis was putting Blucifer together, a section of Blucifer fell off and took Luis's life. Luis's family had to complete the task. Many people are also caught off guard by all of the symbolism that's around the airport. When you go to pick up your luggage, this is one of the gargoyle statues that is there to greet you. There's actually 2 of them. And this is what I mean by how they're throwing it on our faces, because it's right there for us to see. There's reptilian references. There's also a ton of murals. I mean, a ton of them. You could run a quick Google search and find so many, and they all seem very dark. They all seem very violent, and children are often referenced. I mean, the art kind of speaks for itself. There's mentionings of a ton of war and destruction. Even this painting, it went viral during the pandemic. The submission date says that it was in 1995. They ended up saying that was just an error, because how would they know about COVID? There's also a ton of UFO sightings in the area, and a lot of people feel that it is connected to the airport. There's also speculation about the tunnels that are underneath the airport. There are tunnels, and NORAD is in the area, but they're said to just be passing luggage through the tunnels and nothing more. And I mean, they know exactly what they're doing because of how they reference certain things. They're even using the tinfoil hat to kind of mock people. Why would any airport need to reference so many conspiracy theories or use a bunch of symbolism that way?
Yep, I kept saying, that's the most creepiest airport I've ever seen.
Consequences. That is the word of the day for Alex Jones. Remember him? The founder of InfoWars, one of the biggest, most dangerous conspiracy theorists out there. Well, he spent years spreading vicious, awful lies about families from Newtown, Connecticut, the parents of kids who were murdered in the Sandy Hook school shooting. Well, Alex Jones was found guilty of this awful behavior and is being forced to pay millions and millions of dollars. But cynics out there, me included, have always thought he's never going to pay. He's going to squirrel his money away, put his assets under his family members' names. The government will never be able to get this money. But today we learned that he's now liquidating his assets because he's going to have to start paying these families. Now, we have already heard from many of these families that getting the money is secondary. What they want is their children back. That will never happen. But what they really want right now is for dangerous people like Alex Jones to stop spreading vicious, dangerous lies. And the sad truth is, he can go out tomorrow and start another business, spread more lies, make money off of that. The weird thing about that is, if he does that and goes out and makes more money, he'll likely have to give that money to these families. This thing is not over, but it is one step closer to finding some justice, finding some closure for these families who so desperately need it and deserve it. So consequences. That's what Alex Jones is facing today.
Oh, okay, I now get it. Alex Jones is the most evil person in the world for spreading lies. But the mainstream media, they are the good people. They never tell a lie. They always go with the truth, right?
No, they put lead in watermelons.
Do you own anything made of paper? There's radiation in the ink. You need to throw it out now. I churn my own butter. Oh my god, ever since I found out about water, I stopped drinking it.
Kate Middleton is shaking, and you guys are gonna have to convince me that she's still alive because I do not believe it at this point. So the palace just released that due to Kate Middleton's cancer diagnosis, that she has now basically completely forfeited her duties as the Princess of Wales. There's a lot to this story. Let's talk about it. So there was a huge campaign early in the year. It was giving where in the world is Kate Middleton? And everybody was looking for her. They tried to put out little, I want to call them doppelgangers of her. And we were like, that doesn't look like Kate. Videos of William walking with women that they said was Kate, and it wasn't giving Kate to the general public. Then they came out because they had to, and they released a video of her saying that she got a cancer diagnosis and we wouldn't be hearing too much from her. What is interesting about this situation, and I've talked about it in videos before, is Meghan Markle and Prince Harry. They released information in a very indirect way about how things are done in the palace. With me also watching The Crown, I think I've been able to put together that they will handle business behind the scenes and not tell anybody how they move and move in a certain kind of mobsterish way. If they want to get rid of somebody, they want somebody silenced. If they want you to move a certain way to be in the palace, they're going to make you do that. It doesn't matter if they got to give you cancer. Also, Prince William and her relationship, to me, had always been a little bit rocky since 2019, and it came out and said that he was messing with her friend. Now, I didn't have a lot of information on the friend at first. Now I do. Her name is Rose Hanbury, and even Stephen Colbert has come out and say, allegedly, that he believes that they're having an affair. I mean, the rumor mill for that has been so big for such a long time. He had to distance himself from Rose. Now, let me tell you about Rose. Rose's name is Rose Cholmondeley Hanbury. She's the wife of David Cholmondeley, and it's pronounced Chumley. Oh, okay, Chumley. Interesting. The 7th Marquis of the Chumley, and the Marquis of his wife. Yes, and the Marquis and his wife. So, her husband has a royal title, and this is somebody who probably is a distant relative of theirs because, you know, to have a royal title, you have to have royal blood. So they all mess with each other at the end of the day. So people end up looking alike. That's why, you know, they're kind of giving each other. But to find out that you were messing with her friend, a deep-seated love affair with her friend, and knowing how your daddy gets down when it comes to affairs, messy, Prince Charles. Now, I meant to say Prince William's in that last one, but Prince Williams and Prince Charles act alike to me because this lady came to King Charles's coronation. Now, if you're supposed to be messing with my man, it's already messy. We're probably not friends like that no more. Why in the world are you here? Are you here with your husband? You need to go home. It just looks bad, but you know how they move. Camilo used to be standing right next to Diana. They did not care. Now it's reports saying that we're not going to see this lady anymore. I think she's already gone. Now that may be very conspiracy theory and not very stand-up news anchorish of me, but if they come out soon saying this lady has been unalived, that the cancer got her, we're going to know that something more is up, and we'll find out in 20 years when they make the 30th season of The Crown.
My guy, what is the craziest conspiracy theory that you secretly believe in? I'll go first. So, as y'all know, in the Bible, Moses split the sea, right? Alright, so, y'all know that part of, like, the river and the ocean where, like, the water is like split and you got the fresh water and the salt water, but they won't come together type stuff. I honestly believe that might be like, how do I explain it? Like, I think that's like an image that God made as a remembrance to Moses splitting the sea. Even though like the Bible talks about like he split the Red Sea or whatever, I feel like that he put that there as a remembrance. And like even in the Quran, it talks about how God released the two seas and they begin to meet, but between them is a barrier so they will not transgress. So, you know, it talks about how God made these two seas, but there's a barrier between them where they will not be able to come together or meet with each other. But something in my head, y'all, is just telling me like, man, that's supposed to be like a remembrance from when Moses split the sea. I don't know, but that's like one little conspiracy theory that I have that I basically just can't get over, to be honest, because I keep saying it.
You are pretty wrong, because it's not that sea.
You guys, Sam Smith finally confronted the craziest conspiracy theory about them, that Sam and Adele are actually the same exact person. So if you didn't know, this conspiracy theory started in 2015 when a lot of people online started to notice a lot of similarities between Sam Smith and Adele, like their appearances in this overlay. They're both British, talk the same, both very critically acclaimed singers who sing the same style of breakup ballad music, and they've never ever been seen in the same room together, ever. What are the odds of that? You will never find a photo of them together. I dare you to try. The theory goes someone in the music industry wanted to double up on the money earning potential of this artist, so they would have Sam get in the booth and record something, but they would pitch it up or down to make us think it's two artists. I'm about to play Adele pitched down and Sam pitched up, and they sound exactly like each other both times.
Everyone seems to think that I'm Adele. So people think that we're the same person, and I'm just in drag right now. And I get asked all the time in every interview about it, and it's really frustrating. But I am not Adele.
Conspiracy theories that are just true, part 4. Is this the best one so far? Here is Real Madrid footballer Kylian Mbappe. Oh, here is Kylian Mbappe's career stat. 129 goals in 445 games. Not a single one of those career goals came from a free kick. Now, me and you both have seen this guy's crazy catalogue of goals, but not a single one came from a free kick, did it? Here is Borussia Dortmund Football Club. Now, I've seen plenty of their games and not one has been played in an away kit. Not only is it every single game in the Champions League, it also seems all the Bundesliga games they've played in their home shirt. Honestly, I couldn't tell you the last time I saw them in an away kit. Now, here's Atalanta Football Club, and I have just one question for you. What is your earliest memory of this football club? Because you're lying if you said anything past the last 6 years. I'm sure that this club one season randomly spawned into the Champions League and nobody questioned it. Where did they come from?
I mean, with Atlanta it seemed like Leicester. They just came in, they dominated the Big Six, and won the Premier League.
Your favorite conspiracy theory?
Pigs are hybrid chimeras created by the Nephilim. So the conspiracy theory goes that pigs are hybrids of humans, dogs, and other animals mixed together, and that they were created during the time of Genesis chapter 6 with the Nephilim mixing genetics in the world. And this is why God commanded the Israelites to not eat swine. Where people find validity with this theory is how similar pigs are to humans. Their skin is very similar to ours. I believe tattoo artists will use pig skin to practice. I believe the pig's heart is very similar to us. and is able to use parts of it in surgery to then transplant into humans. Again, I may be wrong with some of this. It is a conspiracy theory. And they are also extremely social and intelligent. Wouldn't that be wild if that is the reason why God told the Israelites to not eat pigs, because they are a hybrid animal created by the Nephilim? This is also why Jesus casted out Legion from that man and put those demons into pigs. So you have Nephilim spirits who were possessing a human. He then casted them into a hybrid Nephilim animal, the pigs, and then drowned them in water, just like the flood back in Noah's day. Again, this is a conspiracy theory. I'm not sure what to believe with this, but I think it's a fun one. I mean, wouldn't that be wild? Pigs are human hybrids with dogs and other rodents. I believe it was a rat. I believe that was it. It was rat, pig, a rat, dog, and human hybrid. Wouldn't that be wild? But I mean, I can't really talk much. I have this hybrid animal right here. I'm really not even sure what he is, but you know, we love him.
Wait, so if pigs are hybrid humans, then what are apes? Because they are more similar to the humans.
Did you know that eels are the only animals in the world that we have no idea where they came from? Like the weird fish in the oceans. Scientists have done like observations of them, and eels during a specific time in the year, regardless of where they are, will literally all travel to the Bermuda Triangle, and that's where they link up. No matter where they are from, Europe, the freshwater rivers of the United States. When it's time to mate, they just all go to the Bermuda Triangle, and it's dangerous for scientists to study them, so it's a bit hard, so we don't really know where they originate from. And the females and males have no reproductive organs, so like, how do they reproduce? Also, they did a test where they put the eels inside a bucket, then when it was time to mate, they all swam in the direction of the Bermuda Triangle. You know, how people like have speculated like octopuses being aliens, right? People think eels also might not be from here. And then the theory goes on to claim that there was a meteor that crashed in the Bermuda Triangle and allegedly crashed 65 million years ago, coincidentally, when the dinosaurs were gone.
Just wait a second, now it makes sense. So if eels are not from Earth, I'm assuming they are from Mars. So eels are pets of aliens. Eels being pets of aliens.
I'll remember Jacob Legrone, the groom in that viral $59 million Paris wedding to Madeline Brockway, who we then found out was facing life in prison because he fired his pew-pew at the Popo in Texas? Well, he was back in court this month, and the news is nobody knows anything. There are 0 news updates about it. I contacted all the news channels in Texas. I even contacted the reporter who was at the courthouse for his first hearing in December, who got shoulder checked by his bodyguard. And you'd think she'd want to follow up on it, right? Crickets. Nobody is getting back to me, and it's pretty clear this story has been dropped. And I would even consider doing a Freedom of Information Act request, but the last hearing was sealed. And this hearing, if they even had one, would certainly be sealed too. Everything is getting sealed. And you all told me at the time, you all said that rich ass family is gonna figure out how to make this all go away. Her dad is worth hundreds of millions. Her mom is old Texas oil money worth billions. And I don't want to sound conspiracy theorist, but this whole thing has been memory hold. And you tell me if it doesn't sound like that family has leaned on the right people to make it all disappear. But what do you all think? Am I just being paranoid about some humdrum story that nobody else seems to care about anymore? Or is there something sinister going on in Texas?
I mean, there's something dark going on always with these elite people.
In this photo is Twitch, his wife Allison, Miranda Derrick of the Wilkins sisters, Miranda's husband B-Dash, Reno, and Aubrey. This was posted in January of 2022. Many are curious if Twitch was involved with 7M, particularly given the close relationship he had and that Allison allegedly still has with Miranda. This concern gained traction after the release of Netflix's documentary Dancing for the Devil, which has sent viewers down investigative rabbit holes. As one such viewer, I have been digging into this matter and want to share my findings. Remember though, this is all speculative, so take it with a grain of salt. Interestingly, the only evidence I came across was a comment noting that Twitch's contact information on IG once included a 7M management email address. This allegedly changed to a regular Gmail address 3 days after online rumors began circulating in 2022. I know this is a rather dark subject given Twitch unalived himself just months later in 2022. There have been a lot of rumors around those circumstances, and now I think there will be more after this documentary. As always, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Please share them in the comments.